This week in the Complaint Corner, Nintendo, Akira, and no other shit. This is Critically Complained. Hi, I'm Adam, and this is Steve. And first, we're going to talk Nintendo, and that's exciting because we don't have a lot to talk about this week. It's great.
We were kind of at the point where it's like, do we even do an episode? Because there's almost nothing to say, or at least nothing that we can qualified to talk about.
I guess that's. I should specify to say. It's not that nothing happened this week. It's that there's nothing happened that we either cared about or knew enough about to be able to make any comments on it other than, neat.
Basically.
And we don't really think that that's worth mentioning when it's like, a new game was announced in some series I've never heard of and will never actually play. That's nice. Like, I'm not going to talk about that.
Right, yeah.
So we only talk about the stuff that we care about and the stuff that we can make commentary on, which is why this week is so barren.
So we arrived at two things. On the plus side, no Star Wars news this week.
Yes,
so,
no Star Wars.
Take that for what you will.
That's great. Woohoo! And a lot of video game news.
Yeah, there you go. We've been sparse on that lately. So
yeah, we have been.
Yay!
So we're going to kick things off, as I said, with Nintendo. Specifically the Nintendo Direct. And like I said, we're not going to talk about absolutely everything that they revealed in the Direct. We're going to talk about the things that we care about, because that's how we roll. So first of all, the thing that, in my opinion, is the biggest news of the whole thing was that Doom and Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, are coming to the Switch. And that is super fucking awesome, and I love it. That's really, really cool. I love Doom. I haven't played a lot of it. I do have it, but I just don't have a lot of time to play games. Actually, I'm probably going to play it later today, but that's unrelated. So I love Doom.
Little peek behind the curtain on our lives right there. Adam might play Doom later, guys.
Yeah, there we go. And I've never played Wolfenstein, but I have heard good things about it. You have?
Yep.
Is it good?
Yeah, Doom was better. But,
fair enough. But how do you feel about them being on the Switch?
I think it's pretty cool. Not even
you can play it on the go.
Not even so much that, well, okay, that's always just a cool thing about the Switch. But again, not even really that what the games are. It's just kind of what they represent, kind of like GTA or whatever from last week.
Yeah,
just the idea that something as gratuitous as Doom, or I suppose to a lesser degree Wolfenstein, can be on a Nintendo console, and they're like okay with that, is positive for the future, where we might actually get to say in the future that when something like this releases for a Nintendo console, it's not surprising anymore. And we'll all have to look back fondly on the days of the Wii when Call of Duty being on there was a big deal, even though it was a terrible port. But the fact that it existed...
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was just thinking in my head, like, it reminds me of those terrible Call of Duty ports that the Wii used to have. And it's like, I'm a little bit worried that it's going to be a bad port. That it's not made for the Switch, and because it's not, it's just going to be a really lame, half-assed attempt.
Well, I mean, there's always that risk, but
there.
I think on the Switch particularly, we have a few advantages that the other consoles didn't have. For example, the hardware gimmicks that they're trying to push this time around don't affect gameplay at all.
Yeah,
so you don't have to worry about motion controls fucking up your game. And you don't have, the Switch, from my understanding anyway, is powerful enough that you don't have to worry about having really sparse box levels. So,
that's kind of my understanding of it too, is that,
they might have to turn the bells and whistles down a bit to fit on there, but I mean, honestly, the trade-off of being able to actually play Doom on your Switch feels like it's worth to me. Some people get butthurt about graphical downgrades, but dude, you get to play it while you're walking around or whatever, and it's on a Nintendo console.
I talked about this last week, but I never really care that much about graphics and stuff. I care a little bit. When something takes a noticeable dive, I'll be like, oh wow, that doesn't look very good.
I mean, the Smash Bros on 3DS compared to the Smash Bros on the Wii U, there's a pretty huge drop off there, but they didn't ruin the game for me.
Definitely not. Absolutely not. I mean,
it was a terrible joystick that ruined the game for me. But that's beside the point.
Okay. So Doom and Wolfenstein. I'm very, very. I have nothing negative to say about it.
Not really.
I hope it's a good port. If it's a good port,
I mean, that it is kind of dependent on the quality of the game. I don't want it to turn into another COD, but the
Yeah,
idea
yeah.
that we can have it, and that they seem to be cool with that direction of things, I'm glad they're doing that because that's really all they had to do to be successful was just embrace that, Because if they got everything everybody
Hmm.
else has got and their own exclusive stuff that they monopolize, like
I agree. No,
that's good
like
stuff, man.
this could lead to some awesome stuff for the Switch and for Nintendo in general. Assuming that this isn't just an anomaly, this isn't just something to to satiate the nerds like us and be like, see,
We can play nice
like
with
we
the other
do have
kids.
third party support. We
Yeah.
do have third party support. And it's like, yeah, but this is only 2 games. Like I want this to be like the beginning of a flood of third party stuff coming to the Switch. I don't want it to just be like, oh look, what do you mean? We still have those
Well,
10 third party games.
flood might not be the word. A nicely
I
controlled
want
river. How about
more.
that?
I want more. I want third party games being on the Switch to not be a surprise. I just want it to be like, oh, and then we get another game on the
I
Switch
mean, Jesus, Adam,
because
you got
that's
Binding
just
of Isaac. What more do you want?
yeah, oh, great. I
I was
don't
actually kind of excited that Binding of Isaac made it to the Switch. I know that's old news. It's just a thing that I was excited about when I heard about it. Because like, yeah, that's kind of like the perfect game for that. You know,
Yeah, kind of is. I've never actually played Binding of Isaac. I
you
wish I
gotta
had, but
be into that kind of roguelike thing to really
yeah.
get the
Yeah.
if you're the kind that like plays a game once and never touches it again, then it's probably not for you. But
I wouldn't say I'm exactly like that. But I'm kind of like that. It depends for me.
I don't know.
Some games I've played like I've played the entirety of Jak 2 like at least 7 times.
Wow.
like I loved that game when I was a kid. It was like my favorite game ever. I
Jesus,
loved
I
that
I
fucking
didn't
game.
play that. I didn't even finish it for like years. I got to the part with the hoverboards in the lake where you had to like drive over the little bomb thingies to break them, and I couldn't complete
Oh
it, so I just never
yeah,
played it again.
yeah, dude. I
Then I got the box set and I went back and beat
First
it,
of
but
all, the worst mission in that game is when you're in like the river dock area or whatever the fuck, and you have to like make your way all the way back, like walking along these fucking planks, and there's just like these just endless enemies. Oh my god.
well,
Oh
I
god, I get
disagree because I think
nightmares
the
from that
worst
mission.
part of the game is any section that had the stupid turret flying enemies where you had to shoot them down before they killed you. But that's because turret sections are garbage. But I think that was actually Jak 3. Now that I'm thinking about it, it doesn't
Yeah, I
matter.
think that.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the
I'm sorry.
Switch,
This is so
Switch is cool.
unrelated.
I like Switch.
We're
Games on
we're
Switch are
gonna move
good.
on.
I like games on
We're
Switch.
gonna we're gonna move on to the next bit of Nintendo Direct news. Kirby Star Allies was announced. I mean, technically, it's not an announcement per se because we did know that there was going to be a Kirby game on the Switch,
Well,
but this
God, of
is really the
course.
first time we heard any real information about it. So I'm gonna call it an announcement, even though technically that's not true. So
Announcement. How about that? It's a
yeah,
good
it's a
announcement.
sort of announcement. So Kirby Star Allies is exactly what it sounds like. It's a Kirby game on the Switch. But what's really interesting about it is that it allows you to play not only with multiple people, but you also can like take if you're playing single player, you can like convince enemies to join you in a weird way, and then you can combine their powers with whatever your powers you have, like in a variety of different ways to like do all kinds of cool stuff. Like if you combine the psychic power with the stone power, you can create like a stone drop attack. It's really cool. And I really hope that it's not a gimmick that's only used for small portions of the game. I really hope that they allow you to like stretch your legs and play with all of these different
I
powers and
hope
do
so
really
too,
cool
because
things.
I like Kirby more than I actually like Kirby games. I don't know if that's weird. I like the character Kirby, the super tough pink puff. He's my guy. Favorite Nintendo character, hands down. But like a lot of his games, they've explored that whole copy ability thing, like Kirby Superstar for the N64. I think was the last time they actually did it for real. Because like in a couple other games, they've experimented with the whole combining powers thing, but it's usually like really specific combinations. You know, like there's not no versatility
Yeah,
options
yeah,
in there. It's basically like I combine sword with fire to make fire sword, and that's
yeah.
basically all
No,
you
I
can do to it. You know, or or like you're saying with the gimmicks, like the last one that they did with they had like super versions of some of the powers. You know, like that was a cool idea, except that it was really fucking scripted. Like you basically got to use it in one specific spot to do a thing.
yeah.
You know, like super
I played
sword
that game.
power. You know, which became
I actually
Kirby's new
played that game,
Smash.
and yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't that big a deal.
yeah, like the
It
thing that
really
became
wasn't.
Kirby's new Smash move in the new Smash Bros. For the Wii U or
Yep,
whatever.
I know.
Yeah, that
I know
thing
what you're
seemed
talking
like
about.
it was awesome. It's like, dude, how do I get that power? But it's like, oh, you just the game basically just gives it to you when it decides it's time to use it, and then you run out of it, and then it's like, okay, well, I'm just back to Sword Kirby then. That's cool, I guess.
Yeah,
You know.
it's kind of dumb.
But
Yeah, that's the only thing is I don't want this to just be like a poorly used gimmick. Like I really want to have freedom and to combine the different powers in weird ways
well, that's
and
how
have like
that's
a
how it
bunch of
worked in
different
Kirby Superstar.
combinations.
You could combine them and use them whenever you wanted, which is why I'm kind of hoping this is going to be something similar. It's just like, when I discover a combination, that's just a thing I can do from now on. I think now you might be limited by the enemies that are in the level, obviously, unless your party quote unquote carries over every time you finish a level. Like if I can bring the snow guy from the snow level into the fire world or something,
Oh,
then that would be
I see
cool.
what
But
you're
if you're
saying.
kind of limited to, okay, this is the fire world, so there's only fire enemies in here, obviously that's not going to be as cool then. I mean,
Yeah,
there's still
and
stuff you could do, I'm sure, but
I actually feel like this might be better if you're playing with co-op.
oh,
You don't have
absolutely,
to
that'd
deal
be
with
so
like
fun, dude.
like you don't have to deal with annoying AI. You don't have to deal with like finding that one enemy and convincing him to join you wherever the fuck it is.
Yeah, you seem to like throw
if,
hearts at them until they join you, because Kirby games are basically non-confrontational.
yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Kirby games are so weird where it's like they're for adults, but also they're super childlike, but they're most of the time like they're difficult and like well, that's not always true.
Sometimes
But
they're difficult.
Sometimes they're difficult, but like I really feel like most kids don't really care that much about Kirby, but the games are super child friendly, which is weird. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, I get you.
Well, like it's like
Well, I don't
they're
think
made
Kirby
for kids,
ever really
but they're
had
not.
the. Kirby's in a weird position where I don't think he ever really had the appeal that Mario and Sonic had at the start, and I don't think he gained that much ground as. Okay, because like if you ask a kid today, like not, I'm talking like kid, the actual one that Nintendo is really kind of marketing towards. If you ask them, hey, what's your favorite Star Fox game? They'll say, I've never played a Star Fox game. And that's probably true.
Yeah.
But you ask them what their favorite Mario game or maybe their favorite Zelda game is, of course they'll have those. They're probably not going to have a Kirby game either, Because like
Probably
there's very specific
maybe.
windows of Kirby game. It's really small, and then anybody who played the original ones. There's no in between on that one.
Actually, I'm kind of in this weird position where I never played the old Kirby games.
Right, but you're part of the demographic that's like, oh, old Nintendo games,
guess.
nostalgia,
I suppose.
Like,
I
I'm
don't
dog
have
shit at
any
Metroid,
nostalgia for
but
it.
I still want to get that new Metroid game.
I appreciate the Kirby games, but like I never. The only one I played, I've only played a few, and they were all like released in the last like 10 years.
Most of the ones I played were for
Like-
the DS, just because that was what I had access to at the time when they, were coming out.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. Okay, and something else was announced along with this. It kind of goes hand in hand with it. Kirby Battle Royale for the 3DS, which is basically a sort of like Smash Brothers, but also sort of like the weird Kirby. What was that? It's like a weird. What's the word I'm looking for? Game mode. It was a weird game mode in.
Oh, yeah,
one
I
of the
remember that. Yeah,
previous
there was like
Kirby
a
games.
Smash Bros.
It's like that.
thing with Kirby powers. Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah,
what game it
it's
was
like
part
that.
of, but yeah.
But it's like that. That's the whole game. Is that, and I don't really care.
I don't really see that doing hot.
I'm just like, okay.
Like, I mean, I like Smash Bros. As much as the next guy, but I'd rather play as other characters and just different flavors of Kirby over, I mean, if it had
Yeah,
other stuff
I
in there,
agree.
I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. It's just a bonus for the other crowd or whatever. But if it's just that, it's like, but I already got Smash Bros. And that's better and also available for the 3DS. So why would I get this?
And also has like a bajillion more characters.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, yeah, okay.
Plus, it's got
like,
Link in it, and
whatever.
I can just, or Little Mac, and I can just do that running dash punch people in the face haymaker thing over and over and over and over again. Or the Charizard. I love the Charizard Flare Blitz. Love it. It's all I use. Flare Blitz, Flare Blitz, Flare Blitz.
You use
Strategy.
Flare Blitz over and
Strat-
over. It's a really shitty strategy.
No, it's excellent strategy. Excellent
it
strategy.
hurts you and you'll
Yeah,
die.
but it hurts them
and
more.
lose.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just hurt them more than it hurts yourself.
Yeah,
It's like when you have
sure.
emotional problems, right? And it's like burning up and eating your soul out inside. Just inflict that pain on others, and then you won't feel so bad.
Steve, that hits closer to home than I think you realized. And we're going to move on now.
Okay.
The next bit of news is Project Octopath Traveler, which is a mouthful.
Yeah, that's a good name for a game, guys.
And it is a JRPG that is getting made for the Switch by Square Enix.
Because of course it is. Because
I watched a trailer.
as did I.
Yep, we watched it, and it looks very classic JRPG. Like, it looks like Golden Sun, but it almost looks worse than Golden Sun. Like, the graphics
Yeah,
look
I don't care
worse.
for the aesthetic of like weird two-dimensional paper cutouts in three. It's not like Paper Mario where it's actually paper. It's just flat. Like the world is
Yeah,
flat, and I don't understand
I
it.
don't get it. Like, I think they're trying to go for like the sort of nostalgia
Well, I think it's
thing.
supposed to
Like,
have
they're
like a
trying to make it
book,
look
like storybook kind of thing. I
maybe.
think it's fantasy. I think that's kind of what they're going for, but it just looks like little Big Planet stickers to me, and I don't care for it.
Yeah, I don't like the art style
That
at
being
all.
said, I'm not that big of a fan of JRPGs to begin with either, so it's really not meant for me. So I guess my opinions aren't really that valid, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's not meant for me either. The one thing that I kind of like about it is I do know that there are a lot of JRPG fans out
Oh
there,
yeah, and
and
that's
it looks
fine.
like
You do you, man.
it looks like a very classic game, which is probably a good thing because it means people will like it. Probably, maybe. I
Maybe.
mean, assuming it's good.
I,
Um,
I don't
but
know.
it's interesting, but it's definitely not for me. This is one of those things that if we didn't have nothing to talk about, I wouldn't have talked about
Yeah,
this
yeah.
because
Because I'm gonna
I
level
don't
with you
really
guys. We
care.
didn't actually even make it through the whole trailer. We watched like the first minute of what it seems like a 5 minute trailer, but actually stretched on for infinity and then some. And it's like, okay, JRPG is walking a town and turn based. Okay, that's enough. Thank you.
Eight
I
playable
yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Oh.
And then we got to hear like
Oh.
the discount narrator guy like talk about which path will you choose, warrior? Red warrior needs food badly or whatever, and it's like, okay, well, fucking, all right,
Whatever,
that's
man.
cool for
Okay.
somebody, I'm sure, but pass, thank you.
I like I say, the only reason I care is because it's like, hey, cater to that demographic,
Yeah,
Nintendo.
exactly. Tell
Do
your
it.
friends.
Yeah. But anyway,
Well,
moving on to the next thing.
it's exclusive to the Switch, right? That's why we talked about it.
Yeah, it is on the Switch. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's exclusive to the Switch,
which
which is cool.
if you like your exclusives and you still have a hard on for this whole console wars thing, and you feel like you need to defend it to the death, then there you go. There's an exclusive you can use for ammo against the other JRPG people, which basically just means PlayStation, I think. So if you
Yeah,
want to
pretty
throw
much.
down with PlayStation about who's got better RPGs, then go nuts, I guess.
Go, you have fun. Have fun over there, kid. Uh, next bit is kind of weird. So Mario Party Top 100 was announced. It's coming for the 3DS, which is kind of a weird thing because I automatically don't care about it as much because it's on the
Isn't that
3DS.
weird
Even
that
though
that's the
I
case?
own a 3DS and I own a 3DS, but not a Switch. But I care more about Switch games.
Agreed.
Why?
I don't know, Adam. I'm right there with you though.
So it's the top 100 Mario Party mini games from like the past however many games. Like they're just
There's
it's a bunch of
9 or 10
old
Mario
mini
parties,
games.
I think.
Yeah, I think there's 10 of
Okay,
them.
I have
And
a
it's
few
old
concerns.
mini games. It's none of it's new. It's just all getting like all bundled together slash remastered and put together on the 3DS.
I mean, that's probably
And
fine. That part is fine, I guess.
I, I gotta be honest. I don't give a shit. Okay, can I just say it? Mario Party's dumb,
Really, you don't like
and I
Mario
don't.
Party?
I don't like Mario Party. I think it's stupid, and I don't understand why people care. Like, okay, it's one thing if it's like a virtual board game type thing. It's one thing if that's all it was. Like, I could kind of understand why some people like it, but with so many of the Mario parties, especially the newer ones, the whole game is like random. There's so many ways. Like, you can kick the other person's ass over and over and over. You can win every single mini game, and then at the end, they can win one mini game and like switch like stars with you or whatever,
Okay,
and
well,
it's
first
over.
of all, that's new Mario Party rules. The new Mario
Yes,
Parties
I
are
know.
poop. The first ones,
Yes,
the
I
original
know.
ones, were a different currency. It wasn't the little stars like that. It was coins and stars, and coins only mattered if you were tied on stars. So, like, you got the coins and used the coins to buy the stars, and that's how you won the game. It's not about the little star bits or whatever. So, yeah, that whole stealing half of your shit at the end, that didn't happen in other Mario parties. That wasn't a thing that existed. There was, like, one way to steal stars, and
I
it
just
only happened with one item, and then it
see.
was basically just
Okay,
like,
here's my problem with Mario Party. I have not played the older Mario parties. I've only played the newer ones because like every time I'm like with like like family or whatever, like someone else's whatever. Whenever I'm with like a big group and they're like, "Oh, let's play Mario Party," and then they break out like the newest one or whatever.
Well, that's their
the hell
fault.
it
They're
is.
doing themselves a disservice by doing that.
And like every time I play it, I'm just like, wow, that was really fucking stupid, and I was bored like 90% of the time.
Okay, they basically took all the good parts out. I could see why you don't like Mario Party based on the new ones, because it would not leave a good impression of what it actually was like.
Okay.
Because, first of all, in the old games, you didn't go in a fucking straight line. That's not how it worked. You didn't move together. You moved separately around a board with multiple paths and junk, so you hardly ever saw each other. It was basically just, gathering shit on your own time and then playing the minigames together. So you didn't go in a fucking straight line. There was no end, quote-unquote, to the board. There was no boss fight at the end. It was just a number of turns. And the stars and coins thing were different, so nobody got to steal half your stuff at the end in some kind of bullshit minigame to rob you of a victory. That kind of stuff didn't happen. For some reason, they made the decision to make things just provably worse, and I have no idea why they did it, but...
Well, I think the idea is because they want it to be like a party game. They want it to be
but it was
for
a party
super
game
casual.
Already it
they
was.
want it to be for super casual people. They don't want to reward people for playing well. And that's just not something I'm interested in. I don't care about a game where I can be objectively better than everyone around me. I'm like playing myself up, but like, let's for the sake of argument, I can be objectively better than everyone I'm playing against, and they can win at the end because of some bullshit.
No, you're right.
Oh, they traveled the most, extra star. Oh, they lost the most minigames, extra star. Oh, they had the most coin losses, extra star, and they won.
Well, I mean,
like,
okay, to be
like,
fair, those things existed in the other Mario parties too, but they were a lot less of them. There weren't as many for as many activities. It was basically just, did you get the most coins or did you win the most games? Which basically meant if you were winning already, you were going to win regardless. So it didn't change anything really, but it could break a tie sometimes.
I guess. I don't know. I don't like. I feel like I'm being really mean to it. It's not that I actually.
You're under no obligation to like it.
No, it's not that I like it. I certainly don't like it. I don't hate it as much as I'm letting on. It's more of just I just don't care about Mario Party.
That's fine.
So like when they announce Mario Party Top 100, like I have zero nostalgia for it. So I'm just like, okay, that's nice, I guess. I'm not gonna buy it. The only way I will ever play Mario Party Top 100 is if someone gives it to me, and I will turn to them and say, why did you give this to me?
I had an Amazon wish list. You could have got me something from that, right? I'm just saying.
Like, you could have just given me money
Yeah.
and then let me buy my own games, which is way better. Like, please. Okay.
I feel you
so
on that.
Do you have anything else?
Well, okay.
Do you have anything else to say on this?
I think it's kind of bizarre that it's for the 3DS because, I don't think any of them have been for the DS in the past. I think they've all been console games,
That's not true.
Which makes more sense because it's a party thing. You got to people together,
No, they've had them on the 3DS.
Have they?
Before.
Okay,
It's
well
happened.
then
Yeah.
the other half of that confuses me. That this is just kind of a Nintendo thing that kind of baffles me anyway. Is why are they still pushing the 3DS when they have a Switch? I understand. I can totally understand not abandoning your customers, but it's like, why would you make a thing for the 3DS and just not? Why wouldn't you put it on both if you had the option? Like, you could phase out 3DS or something then. I don't understand why you have...
To me, this whole... It feels to me like the top 100 is their shittier Mario Party. Like, I feel like they're making another one, but they haven't revealed it yet. For the Switch. Maybe. Like a better one. New one.
I personally love Mario Party. I think it's a good time, but I wouldn't get this either. I can't be bothered enough to get... Mario Party is kind of one of those things where one person buys it and then everybody will play it when they go to that person's house or something, like a party game. Expecting everyone in your friend group to buy this to play is kind of asking a lot, I think. It's the same thing with like Smash or Mario Kart, Having everybody have a DS version of it is a lot less likely than just having a home console with one friend who has 4 controllers, which I'm sure most friend groups have that one guy or gal, I don't want to generalize, whatever. Person, somebody who has, one of the rich kids who's got like, I got 8 controllers and I got them all the Mario Party games and whatever, and it's like, let's go play in your kick-ass finished basement, and it's like, all right, great, glad you bought this so I didn't have to.
No, yeah, I get what you're saying, and I agree. I feel like Mario Party is better, crazy thought, in a party setting, and so making it for the 3DS just kind of feels unnecessary completely.
It really
I
does.
don't know. I know they've done it before, but I don't understand why. It seems like a waste of their time and money. But that's true of a lot of Nintendo things. If you want to be really really honest, a lot of the stuff that they make is kind of just like why did you make that?
Well, I
Like,
mean, yeah, but whatever. Oh,
okay.
okay. One more second. To expand my previous thought,
Uh,
that rich kid who had all the controllers or whatever, if that kid had a multi-tap, that kid was God. Because I didn't know a single person who had a multi-tap. Not necessarily for like the, you know,
what's a multi-tap?
that's the thing.
I'm
It's
trying
like
to
it was
remember.
popular with the PlayStation because PlayStation, in its infinite wisdom, only had the 2 slots for controllers. It was the thing that split your
Oh
controllers.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Do you,
remember
did
what
you
you're
know
talking
anybody
about.
who owned a multi-tap?
No, I
Because
didn't.
I didn't either. And I was excited when I got the
Oh my
connector
God.
cord for my Game Boy Color. I thought that was amazing. I was like, oh my god, I've never
Dude,
seen one of
right?
these in person before. But like, I
Dude.
didn't know a single. I'd only seen pictures of multitaps
I
etched in
remember.
walls of ruins. I've never actually seen one in person.
I remember being excited when I got a cord so I could connect my Game Boy Advance to my other Game Boy Advance so I could trade Pokemon.
Oh yeah,
It was amazing.
yeah. That's a
It was the best thing
yeah.
ever.
I suppose that's a
Yeah,
route you could take.
I was such a lonely, pathetic child. I had both the I always had both the Pokemon games like Diamond Pearl.
Oh yeah. Oh
Ruby,
dude, don't think you're the only
Sapphire,
person that's ever
and
done
I had
that.
two consoles. I had both two consoles so I could trade with myself.
That's sad. That's
Because
sad that you had 2
yeah,
consoles. I know people who bought
yeah.
both versions of the game a lot, but usually they just had a friend lend them a Game Boy so they could transfer. Nobody was like,
Well, see,
I bought
that's
2
the
Game
thing.
Boys.
I
The exception
didn't
was, of course, the
technically-
Advance and the SP because it was the same thing, just an upgraded version. So if you had
I
one lying
didn't-
around still,
I didn't buy it myself. It was like my parents bought one for me and my brother, but my brother didn't care, so
well, your brother doesn't
it
sound like a lot of
became
fun.
mine. Well, I mean, okay, he did for a while, but then he stopped caring. My brother was never into video games the same way I was, where like I would.
Does your brother know love in his heart?
I remember buying a Game Shark so that I could give myself a bunch of
Hell yeah.
a bunch of like Pokemon legendaries that I couldn't get otherwise. Like I was super into that shit, and my brother was just like, yeah, that's cool. Like like he'd play Pokemon, but like once he beat the Elite Four and he would do a little bit more after that, like he was just like, yeah, okay.
I mean, that's what
I'm
I did
good now.
too. But I remember using my Game Shark to make it so I think it was for oh god, what game was it for? Emerald, Leaf Green. For Leaf Green, I made it so it was always my turn in every Pokemon battle, so I could never lose.
Wow.
Because I could just
Yeah,
war,
okay.
even if I was using like a level 1 against their 100, I could just war of attrition them down until I beat them. Well, I mean, statistically impossible, but you get what I mean. Like, no matter what Pokemon I was fighting, I couldn't lose because I could just keep going because it was always my turn.
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's
it
awesome,
wasn't that
actually.
fun actually.
Yeah, it sounds tedious as hell. Like
You don't really feel accomplished doing that,
no, you probably
and the
wouldn't.
random encounters feel
Oh
even
my
worse
God.
because it's like, ugh, now there's not even a threat of me dying.
All right, we're gonna move on, and this is actually kind of cool. So Minecraft is now available on the 3DS, like right this second.
Yay.
They like announced it at the direct, and they're just like, "Hey, Minecraft, go buy it right this second, right now, boom, done." Yeah,
Smart
we're
move.
fucking awesome.
Smart move.
So first of all, that's cool. I've said this before, but Minecraft is one of those
Well,
things
not on here.
that
You
I.
haven't.
Oh, that's true. Well, I've thought this before. Minecraft is one of those game series that I appreciate on like an intellectual level. Like I'm just like, man, Minecraft, that's so cool. I love that people can build all this different stuff. I love that they can do all this cool survival stuff if they want to. I like the whole Ender Dragon stuff, like the end game, all of that stuff. I really, really think Minecraft is an awesome game, but I have no interest in playing it myself.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
I'm right there with you.
zero.
I lump I lump Minecraft in the same things I lumped like Mario Maker or the
Yep,
creation
me
part
too.
of Little Big Planet. where
Yep,
it's like,
me too.
This
I'm
is
with
really
you.
cool for somebody else.
It's I would do a little bit of the like map maker in Smash Bros, but that was like the most I ever
Oh, I did that like one time. Yeah, I need very specific tools and a very limited set of things to be able to work with in order to make anything reasonable. Because if you give me an open space of Minecraft and you just say create, I'll be like, I made a poop tower out of dirt blocks, and that'll be it.
Oh my god. But like that's actually kind of the thing is when I used to experiment with the map maker in Smash Bros. I made a stage that was entirely ladders. I made a stage that had a giant penis in the middle, and that was
Wow.
it. It was just a giant penis.
Golf clap, golf clap.
I made a stage that was entirely what like those trampoline
Oh
things,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I played on that stage and it was a nightmare. It was so fucking, cause like all you could do was aerial attacks all the time. Like
Yep.
there's nowhere to land, so you're just like constantly like trying to hit people and you can't. And oh my god, yeah,
That sounds like it
it
sucks.
was a good
Well, I'll tell
time.
you what I did for my custom stage, Adam. I there was a one of those little achievement slash Delios for getting a 300 hit combo, and I made a stage where I could lock somebody in a corner and just hold down the A button and infinite Kirby punch them to death, and that was what that stage's
Nice.
purpose was, just for that, just so I could get that thing unlocked. But I
But
mean, I oh, actually, in Minecraft, to go back to Minecraft again, I actually tried my hand at pixel art one time. You know, where you take the different colored
mm-hmm. Yeah,
blocks
yeah,
of
yeah. I got
felt or yarn or whatever the hell, fleece, wool. God damn
yeah.
it, wool. It's wool.
Whoa, whoa,
The different colored
that's it.
wools. And I was like, okay, what's the simplest thing I could make? I was like, okay, I'm gonna make Steve for Minecraft. You know, like the main guy. I was like, he's pretty
Yeah.
square and angular, and that shouldn't be that hard. So I was like, oh, get some pants going. All I had to do was zoom out and look at the back of my character while I was building, and it's like, oh, easy peasy. I'll just do that. I was like, all right, get some shoes going here. All right, get some pants. And then it's like I look at it and I realize that it took me like an hour to get like to work because I suck at Minecraft and I don't know how to do the controls proper because I'm bad at games. But I was doing this like, okay, this dimension's all wrong, or ugh, I don't like this where this shit is. And I look at it and I zoom out and I think to myself, this sucks and I'm bored. So I took out my steel wool and I set it on fire, and I haven't played Minecraft
Good for
since.
you. Good for you, Steve. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing is like I say, I appreciate Minecraft, and if you are really into Minecraft, more power to
Oh,
you. That's
absolutely. Yeah,
awesome.
you do you, man.
Minecraft
You
is
make your
amazing.
or your life-size replica of Westeros or whatever. Do it up,
Yeah,
dude.
thank you. I was just thinking that. Like, yeah, you make King's Landing. You do you, man. Have fucking fun. Make your giant life-size, like, scale model of the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah.
Like, fuck yeah.
I mean,
But I don't care about doing it
when it
myself.
first when it first came out, because when after a while anyway, when I got into it, I was like, I'll give it a shot, and I was like, okay, this is all right. I made myself a little a little dirt hut to sleep in, and then I died, and I spawned a new thing or whatever a couple times. For a while there, I had a nice little house going. I made myself a nether portal, which I hear is a big deal for new players to do. It's like that's kind of like one of those checklist things you're supposed to be able to do before you can really call yourself a Minecraft player. It's like, okay, neat. And I did all that, and it's like, all right, well, cool. And then I just kind of lost interest because I would get like a hankering to play it for like, every like month. I'd be like, oh yeah, Minecraft. Why did I ever stop playing that? That was so much fun. And then I'd play it for like 2 hours, and I'd be like, oh, I remember. Never mind. And then that never happened again, and I haven't picked it up since, and I'm totally cool with that. So if something's happening in the world or it updates or something, I'm gonna have like 10 million updates for Minecraft if I ever go back there. So I'm not gonna go back there.
Yep, no, I'm in complete agreement with you on this. So, but to tie this back into what the hell we were trying to talk about
Yeah,
originally,
seriously.
Minecraft on the 3DS, that's nice.
Basically, it seems kind of weird, especially since it's. I mean, yeah, I guess with the internet now you can update that kind of stuff, so it's not a huge deal. But it seems limiting to put it on a cartridge. But anyway, I don't
It could
know.
work,
I
maybe.
guess I could see the appeal if you're like a Minecraft enthusiast and you just really, really, really want to play it at all hours of the day. I could.
Mm.
And if some miraculous way you could connect it to the same seed as the one you had on your PC, then you could totally just pick up and play and keep building that Westeros on the go or on the bus or whatever. And I'm sure that's not possible, but wouldn't it be nice to dream? But that's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, if you're into it, I could see the appeal of playing it on the go, but plus the touchscreen probably makes inventory management easier and crafting. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's
probably,
benefits, but I
actually.
just, it's teach their own, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just
All
one of
right.
those things
So,
where it's like neat, I
last
guess.
we're gonna continue on trucking along here. So the last bit of news for the Nintendo Direct stuff is that the Switch is getting its first MOBA. It is called Arena of Valor, which is really intriguing, except for one little thing. It was first released on mobile, on the phones, on the cellular phones.
You
I can
know,
do it
like
on
Flappy
my
Bird.
phone. like Flappy Bird
Or
or
Doodle
Pokemon
Jump,
Go
or Angry Birds.
or yeah, or fucking Picket, Candy
Yeah,
Crush.
Candy Crush.
I okay, there's a lot of things that I don't care about with this, so let's kind of break it down into all of the reasons I don't care. First of all, I don't like MOBAs. I never
Oh
have.
no,
I
God, it's the
think
most
they're
boring. How do you do it? How do you do it, guys?
I think they're boring. I think that they often lead to very toxic communities. You all know which one I'm talking about. It's League of Legends. Sorry. I think that they're boring. I think that they're uninteresting.
Well, hang on. And
I'm
hang on,
not
hang
a
on, hang on, hang on,
social
hang on.
player.
And
Continue.
if
Continue.
people out there are thinking to themselves, these guys don't like these games just because they're shit at them, you're right. But also, I think they're really boring, and I don't care to get good at it. I fully admit you could kick my ass in any of those, but that doesn't make me want to play.
It's more than that. It's more than just I'm bad at something. Like,
No, I
I've
know,
played
but like that's
games
what their
that I
immediate
was
thing would be. It's like, oh, you just can't
yeah,
play.
yeah.
It's like CS:GO.
You're
It's
just not
like
good at it.
you're just shit
Yeah.
at it. That's all. It's like, yeah, but it's actually just toxic community to be a part of. That's all.
But it's more than that because like I've played games that I was really good at that I didn't like, and so I stopped playing them. Like I like playing games for fun. I have such a limited time to play games. Like I'm not gonna dedicate myself to playing a game that I'm not enjoying. If I'm not having fun, I'm just gonna walk away. Like I'm just gonna stop playing and play something else, or like watch some TV show or some shit. Like that's a huge thing for me. And so to go back to MOBAs, I don't like them. I don't like that. I don't like the social aspects of it. I don't because I am not a huge social player. I
Yeah.
don't really play a lot of multiplayer games and games that are basically required to be multiplayer or like the only part that anyone cares about is multiplayer is a turnoff for me. It's one of the reasons I don't play Call of Duty because I don't like multiplayer very much. The only multiplayer game I've ever played that I played a lot of and actually enjoyed was Overwatch. And one of the reasons why was because it allowed me to play in different ways and I never felt like anyone was better than me just because they had been playing longer. Everyone was on the same playing field and it was fun. And if I was having an off day and I didn't want to play as like Soldier 76, I could just switch over to like Lucio and just heal people passively. Like I really love Overwatch so much and
Eh.
it's really hard for me to play any other first person shooter now because they're not Overwatch.
And good for you, Adam. That's perfectly fine. But I just.
Anyway, so and another thing is this MOBA Arena of Valor. It was first released on mobile, and
Would you
the
say it's a
fuck?
mobile?
It's a mobile game. That's what it is.
It's a mobile.
It's a mobile game. Mobile. And why the fuck would I want to play that on the Switch? Why couldn't if I can play it on my phone, why would I want to play it on my TV instead? Like I already have it on my phone. That's perfectly fine, I guess, if I was into that kind of thing. Why the fuck would I ever want to play it on my slightly bigger screen in a handheld form or a much bigger screen in television form?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, I have absolutely no idea.
I have zero interest in it. I will not be buying Arena of Valor. And if you're into that, if that's your thing, that's cool. And I should mention that, MOBAs are popular. Not with me, but
Yeah,
they're
but
popular
we're
with other
not
people.
popular, so our opinions don't matter that much.
Yeah, that's also true. So, like, I'm glad that this is kind of a recurring theme with this episode. I'm glad that the Switch has this thing, but I'm not interested in it. I don't
Basically.
care myself.
Exactly.
I'm glad
we just
that-
want all of you to be happy. We want good things to happen to you. And we're willing to sacrifice our own interest in something so that you can be happy. You're welcome.
Well, that's kind of what I want from all game consoles. I
Well,
want
of
game
course.
consoles to have variety.
Well, not
I
everybody
want.
wants that, Adam. There are plenty of people who would be happy to see only their interests fulfilled on a console and fuck everybody
That's
else.
stupid.
Yes, it
That's
is.
stupid. It doesn't hurt me to have Arena of Valor on the Switch. I'm perfectly fine with it being there. I'm just not going to play it myself. It's great. If other people enjoy it, more power to them. That's perfectly fine with me. I don't care. Like that's fine. Good. Nice, I guess. Sure. Why the fuck not?
Go nuts, guys. Actually, okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Can we roll back for a second about League of Legends? You know what
Yeah,
the best
sure.
part about League of Legends is?
What?
The commercials for it by YouTubers. Have you seen those? I love those.
No, I haven't.
Dude, I love
actually.
those.
That's really weird, but
Oh yeah,
I
like
mean,
you know those ads that always come up before a YouTube video?
yeah.
Yeah, they'll have like an actual ad for League of Legends done by some kind of YouTuber or something, and it's a little cartoon that they draw. Oh, I love them. They're so charming and
that sounds
delightful.
funny,
It doesn't make me want to
actually.
play the game, but you know,
But you enjoy the commercials.
yeah, I like the
Fair
commercial
enough.
way more than the game.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to now
Somebody
move
look
on
those up
to
later.
we're gonna move on to the only bit of news that isn't Nintendo related, which is that Thor Ragnarok director Taika Waititi, and yes, that is his name, and I'm fairly certain I'm pronouncing it correctly, is in talks to direct the live-action Akira movie. And okay, first of all, I respect this guy. I like Thor Ragnarok, looks really good, and I know that the director himself is hilarious, and he does a lot of funny stuff on Twitter, and that's great, and he seems like a really nice guy. I have zero interest in a live action Akira movie, and
Yep.
no one can change my mind on that.
Adam, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, now, I agree. I'm sure I don't know much about that director guy because you have more interest in that kind of thing than I do, but I'm sure he's a delightful human being. Now, this is coming from my heart, Adam, and it's someone who appreciates anime quite a bit. You know, maybe not to the
You
level
like
of
anime
some.
more than I do.
Yeah,
You
maybe
like
not
it
to the
more than
level
me.
of some, but I appreciate a good anime. You know, a Japanimine when I get one. And I think I need to say this so that everyone can hear. I want everyone to pay attention when I say this. Akira sucks. Akira's the worst. I don't. It's not good at all. I don't know why is
Didn't I show you?
You did,
Didn't
and
I
I don't
show
know
you
why
Akira?
you did
Oh my
that
God.
because you were telling me like, oh, this is really famous or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I heard of that, and I've seen the cover before. The dude walking to the motorcycle. I don't fucking know his name. Whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Jake. His name's Jake.
Kaneda Tetsuo. Kaneda.
Yeah, whatever, Canada, whatever. So when Canada's walking towards his motorcycle, it's like, okay, I seen that. Which the story's not even about him, so I don't know why he's the main character. But whatever, it's about that short kid and the blue space babies and the Jesus magic, and he turns into Goo Godzilla or something at the end. It's the dumbest thing in the world. I don't know why it's popular, and I don't know why we have a live action one. And
See,
the live action
one of those-
versions of anime to begin with baffle me to a never ending level, and it just this of all things to pick. Who's gonna play the blue space babies,
of
Adam?
all-
Who's gonna play the blue space babies? Are you gonna get
First
the
of
Great
all,
Gazoo
Steve,
from
Steve,
Flintstones to play them?
I think you can at least agree that the animation is top notch. Can you agree?
No, I cannot agree with that. It's old
The,
and looks bad.
The movie is gorgeous. It's so pretty. That's the reason people care about it. That's the reason
It
it's
is?
popular. Yes, because
Okay,
it was
then.
one of the first truly like mind-blowing, spectacular animated films. It's
Okay,
really
then.
really pretty.
Fine,
But yeah,
I guess
the
stipulated
story-
that it doesn't look as bad as the rest of it is. How about
the
that?
story is practically nonsensical. It practically makes no sense.
Yeah,
And-
there's like the biker gang,
Yeah.
but it's like not about the biker gang. It's about the Oompa Loompas with space powers or something. And there's like an 11-year-old who's like God or something who comes out of another dimension to pull the booger monster kid out of the whatever dimension when he does the thing, and he turns into the whatever because he has psychic powers now for some reason. And he like throws that bartender across the room and he steals his girlfriend like fucking King Kong. I don't understand. I saw it
It's
and I could
really
not
weird.
tell you what happened in it.
I've seen it like 3 times, and I really can barely tell you what happened in it. It's a really... the nicest thing I can say about it is a very, very odd film.
That's not a
And
nice thing
I-
to say, Adam.
I cannot fathom how you could adapt it into a live-action version and have it make sense. because you'd have to change a lot of it because it doesn't make sense and it's really weird and pseudo-religious and just bizarre.
And I would
It's
like
such a
I would like to defer everyone to the live action interpretation of Death Note if you'd like to see what happens when you make live
Thank
action
you.
animes.
Oh my god, thank you. See, like I was actually excited about that film before I saw it because in my mind I was thinking, look, I like Death Note, but I don't think it's perfect. I do think that there's a couple of narrative mistakes that they make in Death Note. And again, you all know what I'm talking about. You know what the problem is with Death Note, the anime. And so I was like, I'm okay with them adapting it and doing something different with it. I'm okay with them changing the story a bit to have it make more sense. Of course, the end result was absolutely horrendous and in every way inferior to the anime, to the point that it made me want to rewatch the anime. You actually did.
I actually did rewatch it just to get the taste out of my mouth.
But
and it made me appreciate the anime more.
We talked about it like what, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And I still think about that film. I still think about Death Note and just shake my head.
It still inhabits your thoughts. That's what a scar left on your psyche.
Like, no, fuck this movie.
Oh my god, Adam, that just made me
movie.
think of something. That means that if the new Akira movie here is as bad as it's going to be, maybe I'll actually appreciate the anime one because in relation to how shit the other one was. Maybe that's their game. Maybe they're just going to re-release live-action versions of subpar animes to me and make me appreciate them all just by comparison, I guess.
They have been trying to make a live-action Akira film for 15 years. That's how long it's been that they've been trying to get this
some holy
thing
soldier
together.
was in there stopping them before they could make a grave mistake every single
They've
time. And he seems to have died of old age or something because there's no reason for this.
They've talked about having it be set in New York. They've talked about it
Who cares
starring...
where it's set? It doesn't matter where it's set.
They've talked about it starring Leonardo DiCaprio.
What?
Which doesn't make any
Playing
sense
who?
at all. The main character, Kaneda, I think, or maybe Tetsuo. No, I think it was Kaneda. And I think and they talked about how his
is that the
brother,
Goo Monster or is that the Motorcycle Kid?
No, the Motorcycle Kid. The Motorcycle Kid.
Okay.
The Goo Monster is Tetsuo.
Okay.
Tetsuo is the Goo Monster.
Okay.
Oh my god. I love showing Akira to people and watch, like, specifically you. You were one of the people I showed it to. I love showing it to people and watching them get confused. It is really enjoyable to me to, like, be like, yeah, let's watch this. It's one of, like, the most heralded anime movies of all time. And it's true, it is. But I don't know why. And no one else seems to know either. Because it's so fucking weird. And I love showing it to people. I love that film. I love that film for what it represents. And it represents the confusion of my friends when I show it to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty accurate, I guess. I'm sure there's lots of things I love showing Dale and Tucker vs. Evil to people because they are confused by it, and then I'm like, but wait, hang on, but wait, it gets explained, just wait. And it's like, okay. And then usually they appreciate it at the end, but that's a good movie. That's a good movie. Seen it. I think it's still on Netflix, Adam. You could probably go see it now. It's good stuff. Well, but
I'll
the
go
point
watch
is
it right this second. No,
great.
No.
The point is, really the crux of this issue is that all live-action interpretations of things are bad. Live-action
okay, that's not true of comic book movies.
Shut up.
That's not... No! Okay, all right. Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Fine. All live-action interpretations of anime are bad, and Akira is bad in its own right. So I'm very concerned that creating a live-action interpretation of this movie will be like putting ammonia and chlorine together and produce a noxious fume that will kill everyone on the planet. That's how I feel.
Oh my god. You know, actually,
I'm feeling that this is the movie equivalent of chlorine gas.
I was thinking about this when
chlorine gas.
Not that. I was thinking about this thing I'm about to say when we were reviewing Death Note, but I never talked about it. But I think the problem with adapting anime to live action is there are some things that you can do in an anime that simply don't work when you're doing it with real people.
Nobody can have hearts for eyes in movies.
But like when you do something with real people, there's a certain level of realism that isn't true when you're talking about anime. And I'm not just talking about like from an animation style. I'm talking about like story-wise. Like think about it. it's perfectly normal to see like a death god in an anime that loves apples and like wears like fucking goth punk outfit and and is carries around a book that he can write the name of any person in and then they will die. That's something that you can completely believe in an anime because animes are already so weird and like I don't know, almost fantastical in a way that just doesn't work in live action. Like if you had never heard of Death Note before and you started watching the Death Note movie, when you first see fucking Ryuk, you're just gonna be like, wait, what the fuck is this? Like, why does he look like that? Why does he look so weird and bizarre? Like, it doesn't look like if you didn't know it was based off of an anime, you could probably figure it out because of the way that the story works and the characters that are in it. And I just feel like anime should just be allowed to be itself and it shouldn't be adapted into anything else. Like I just like you can take a manga and you can make it an anime. You can take an anime and you can make it an animated movie. You can't take any of that and make it into a live action movie. There's a disconnect between what you can get away with in live action and what you can get away with in anime.
Oh, okay. I absolutely agree. I actually have an example of that. I was looking it up while you were talking. I have an example of that weird animation to reality disconnect thing. I couldn't remember what it was called, so I had to look it up. It's called Demon King Daimo, and it's about this one guy who's like a demon lord or something, but he doesn't know it. And like he rides a dragon that he befriends, and then like the dragon's also a robot, but it's like not a robot. It's just got like robot parts. And also there's like a tree that represents like actual God, but like the metaphysical one, but it's like a tree, right? And then like the dragon like plugs into the tree and like hacks the tree, and he like takes over the world by hacking into the God tree with his dragon robot. And it's like that's in an anime, I'm watching that and I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Sure. But in like real life, if somebody showed me a movie with a shirtless man who gets buffer in every episode, he just kind of transitions to being buff at one point. I'm confused as to when it happens. He just is buff and shirtless at one point. And like he just rides in on his live action fucking dragon. There's a Transformer dragon. Yeah, his Transformer dragon. And it's like, okay, and then there's like a tree in space, and it's like, why is there a tree in space? And then he like flies up there and plugs his dragon into it, and it's like, why is he plugging his dragon into the tree? And it's like, that wouldn't make any, I wouldn't be able to separate that in that movie to like real life. It's like, I think that's the same problem with like the live action Transformers movies.
Yep.
Because if it was a cartoon, I'd be like, all right, it's like a transforming robot, like that's cool, whatever. But like I see it the Michael Bay style, and it's like, but, well, no, though, that doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah,
and it's not a like suspension of disbelief thing. It's just like there's a certain point where you can no longer like rationalize this happening to people.
Yes, it's exactly my point. Like you can get away with a lot of weird, crazy things, and not just in anime, but in any like drawn medium, because like you could just get away with it because you're willing to buy into it because you know it's a fantastical setting already. Kind of, it's really hard to describe exactly what I mean here. It's like when you're dealing with something that is drawn or is animated or whatever. You can get away with things because it doesn't seem real. But
no, yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
When you try to like take that story and just like force it into having real people do it, it just doesn't work. And that's the problem I'm gonna have with the Akira movie. I can already tell you, if they ever actually make it, I don't even know if it's ever gonna happen, but if they do, I know that it'd be really weird to see a live action film where some person gets like hit in the head with like with psychic babies, and then he turns into a psychic person, and then he becomes a giant goo monster at the end, and like it just won't work. It will just it's too much that you can't believe happening, that you are totally willing to allow in an animated medium. And I don't think it's going to work. I think that adapting Akira is a mistake, and there's no reason to do it. Zero.
I 100% agree with everything you just said.
Yeah.
Although I will admit to being biased that I just hope it doesn't get made anyway. But I also think it will. I want to see it fail, but I also just would rather it didn't exist to begin with.
Yeah, I don't want to see it fail. If they
I
can
do.
make it
I
work,
do. No.
great. But I don't think it
No,
will
no, no,
work.
Adam, you
And
have to set that precedent now. You have to make damn sure everybody knows if you put money into a live action interpretation of anime, you will fail. I want people to know that. I want that to be ingrained on, like, the movie making golden rules, I want them to chisel out in the bottom. No live action interpretations of anime, guaranteed failure, $0 profit.
has there
Right
ever
there.
been an example of any anime that was adapted into a live action film that was better than okay, I guess?
I
Has that ever happened?
I couldn't tell you a single one. To be fair, I don't know of that many live action interpretations
Like
of
I've
animes,
heard
but
that the Ghost in the Shell movie
Oh
was
yeah, that was the
okay,
thing.
I guess.
I never actually saw that, but
Me neither. I didn't see it either.
I
But I heard it was
mm.
okay, I guess.
But it's got
But I
Scarlett
wanna
Johansson
see-
in it, so that's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna move on now to my humble opinion.
Okay.
Now, do you have a humble opinion this week or not?
You know what? I have a really short one I just thought of.
Okay, go ahead.
Really short. So, I found some free time the other day that I wasn't filling with kissing ladies and whatever, and I was like, I'll play some video games, right? And I had on my hard drive, the fuck's it called? The horror game with the
There's
God
a lot
damn
of horror games.
God
Like
damn it! I
Amnesia
can't remember what it's called
and
now. Should have thought about this harder. The one with
Bendy and the
it was a free giveaway on the PlayStation a while ago.
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn. Thank you. Until Dawn.
Ah,
Yes, that one. God, that took me longer than it really should have. Especially since I always confuse that with Stranger Things. I don't know why I do that. But anyway, fuck, what was it called? You just told me. What was it
Until
called?
Dawn.
Until Dawn.
Until
Thank
Dawn.
you. Until Dawn. That one. So I had it on my hard drive for a while. I was like, I'll get around to it at some point. So I decided a while ago, I was like, all right, I'll pick it up and we'll see what happens. We'll see how we do. And in my humble opinion, life Until Dawn
Until Dawn. There you go.
is I'm not sure because I didn't get anywhere near finishing it.
Yeah, it's long.
No. That's not even what it was. I turned it on, and I was greeted with a bunch of B-roll characters from a 80s horror movie, and I was like, okay, so I see what we're doing here. And they play the prank on the girl. Spoiler alert. And I was like, oh, okay, so they're just assholes. That's good. I can't wait for them to die. And then I start playing as, like, this girl or whatever, and I'm walking around, it's like, oh, I gotta touch all the fucking buttons to pick up a screwdriver or whatever, and it's like, okay, that's gonna be fun, I can't wait to deal with that in the future. Then I'm wandering around, and the girl runs off because people made fun of her, and all her friends are assholes, and she really shouldn't have come out here with them if they were dicks like that, and she runs off into the woods by herself, and I have to go chase her down for whatever reason, and I pick up a doodad from the ground, and it gives me a vision of the future of us all snapping our necks on a cliff, and it's like, okay, great. And then I made it to that cliff, and it's like, oh, quick time events to run away from the guy, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm about to fall. Do I let go of the girl? Do I hold on? And it's like, I remember that the voodoo stone told me that if I let go, I live, but I was like, okay, I let go. Or, no, that if I let go, we die. And it's like, okay, well, I let go, and then we died. And I looked at the screen, and I turned it off, and I haven't played it again.
I don't understand what your problem is here.
Okay.
What's
All right,
the issue?
I mean, that wasn't a very good explanation of my thought process, but I knew going in that I wasn't going to have fun because I don't know what it is, Adam, but I'm just constitutionally incapable of enjoying a game where it demands me to make choice. The game has the audacity to tell me to solve my own problems, and I can't have that.
Well, then, yeah, like literally, that's the.
I know,
entire
that's
point
why
of
I
that
knew I
game.
wasn't going to have fun. But the very first time that dies, and I know it's permadeath in that game, so I was like, okay, so I already
Yes.
lost two of my characters then? Oh, well,
Actually,
fuck this
can I
game
just tell
then.
you this? Can I just tell you this right now?
What?
Those two characters die no matter what.
Oh,
Like,
well
there's
then I
nothing
don't.
You could have done.
Okay, well I don't. That is even more so that it gave me the illusion of choice, and I didn't even want to take it. But I hate games that make me choose, and I'm going to say this now because I haven't said this on the show, and I'm going to say it in the future a lot more. So I'm going to get out of the way now. Any game that gives you an option of A and B, and those have different outcomes towards the game's progression are bad. I hate them. Hate them.
I completely disagree with
I
you.
know you
Like,
do. For
not
some
even-
sick reason, you want there to be an unfinished
like
game
it.
on the other half
It's-
of your disc for some reason.
It's not unfinished.
Yes, it is, Adam. Yes,
No,
it is.
It's not. I don't need to see every possible cutscene to finish a game. That's not what I need to do.
Okay, well, this actually,
Okay.
I actually have.
The
Hang
whole
on, hang on,
point
hang on, hang on,
to
hang
me-
on.
all right.
I'm tying this into another game I played after that, or actually before that, because I want to have a dichotomy here of the reasons I'm picking what I'm picking. But I hate when they do that. the picking of the choices leaves me with not excitement or like, like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next, or it's not even like I wonder if that was the right choice. It was like, okay, so I can never go back and change it now, so just the world is fucked if I did this wrong. It's like an old Sierra game where if you didn't pick up the one doodad in level 2, you can't finish at level 20 because you don't have the right fucking key card or something. You need to start all over. That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like when I have to do that. I missed the thing that was supposed to happen. I hate that sense of dread if it's like, did I pick the right thing? Did I pick the wrong thing? What happens if I pick the next wrong thing? What? Like, there's a equally canonical ending on the other half of this disc where everything turns out fine. Dude, Heavy Rain had 16 endings. I saw 2. I'm not going to go back and play 14 more times for all the different kinds of endings. But you do, because they're there to be found, Adam. All of those endings are equally likely. There's no right ending. It's not like Infamous where it's like, okay, there's a bad ending and a good ending. There's all these different endings that could all be the ending. And it's like, but what about my ending? Are you okay? Well, you didn't do this one thing at this one time, so character 7 died. And it's like, but maybe I didn't want character 7 to die. Maybe I would like the story to progress the way I wanted to. That being where everybody wins, and it's like, oh, well, then you shouldn't have made this one wrong decision. It was like, how was I supposed to know it was the wrong decision? I would prefer the game just took the decision away from me. If Character 7 was meant to die, just have them die out of my control so I don't feel like it's my responsibility. Why is it my job to keep your characters alive, game? Why aren't you doing that? If someone needs to die for the story, then that's fine. But don't make it my fault. That's not my fault, game. That's your fault, game. I didn't do this. You did this. You put us here. I did not. I'm not responsible for this. My conscience is clear.
No, you are responsible.
That's so stupid. No, I'm not done yet.
Oh my god. Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Fine. Say your thing so I can do my half here.
The whole point of the game, or at least those kinds of games, is that it's your choices.
I don't want choices.
You're the one playing the game. It's like it's supposed to be more real. It makes the ending have more.
I don't play games for reality, Adam. If I wanted to have reality, I'd go outside. And it sucks out there and it's scary. You know what bills are? There's no bills in video games. That's why video games are fun. Choices aren't fun. Responsibility's not fun. Consequences aren't fun.
Oh my god. Fine. Yeah, we're never going to agree on this. I understand why you don't like it, but I completely agree, just don't feel that way.
Okay.
At all. I love games that make me make hard choices.
Okay, let me calm down for a second. Got a little heated there. Let me just tell you what the other side of the spectrum of why the other game I played, I liked better. That it was the same kind of thing, but I liked it better. Okay. So the other one is Life is Strange. You heard of that one, yeah?
Mm-hmm. You like it so you can immediately rewind and you can change whatever the hell you did.
Yes, I love that. That is every one of these stupid choice games has to have one of those mechanics in it. The whoopsie daisy, that's not what I meant to do button. Because for those uninitiated and for those who aren't just upset about the game because there's a lesbian in it, ooh, look out.
Who's the lesbian? I've only played like the first 2 episodes.
Yes, the girls are lesbians, kind of, a bit.
Kind of? Okay, cool.
Like, you don't even have to be at the end. You could just opt to not be, I guess. But that just one of the decisions leads you to a consequence that turns out that they were gay. Who cares? That just happens. It's not even relevant to the story, but people are upset about it. But let's not get colored about it. Anyway, the point is that in case you are not aware, everybody, there's a mechanic in that game where the girl gets the power to rewind time for a bit, and it's one of these stupid decision-making games where it's like, do you pick A or B to move forward with? But every time you make a decision, as well as outside of decisions, like just wandering around, every time you fuck up, you can just push the button, rewind time, Phantom Hourglass style, or not Phantom Hourglass, Sands of Time style, and just undo it. And that's fine. So if you're doing the thing where it's like you're in a conversational path and you hit the wrong button and everyone gets mad at you, just and then say the right thing, and then it's fine. And then you get to progress how you wanted to play. So, for example, if I wanted to do a good thing and the game decided I did a bad thing, I would just say go back and then play the game how I wanted to play it in the first place. Without the stupid decision-making process. It's just a weird go-between in between the right way of progressing and the wrong way of progressing. It's also used for puzzles and stuff, but...
I like Life is Strange. However, the one thing I can say to that is that you don't actually know the ultimate outcomes of your options, of your choices, until it's too late.
That's true,
Like,
but it's pretty obvious that if you do the option where it's like, I want to get the thing to get a person shot, I can rewind and that person won't be shot. That's a pretty good outcome, I would say. That's something that's worth
certainly true.
rewinding. So it's like, maybe that's kind of the stuff I want to do. Maybe I want to immediately deal with the consequences of my actions instead of like, 50 levels from now where it's like, oh, you shouldn't have did that thing. Well, it's like, well, how was I to know this was supposed to happen? Well, thank God you could rewind time and it wasn't an issue, isn't it? That's what I love about that game. And because of that option, I picked all the choices I wanted to except for one. I made the wrong call on one of them, but it was too late because it was the end of the chapter, so there was nothing I could do about it. But like,
Is that the one where the girl kills herself?
no, I actually was so determined. Okay, yeah, that's another thing. This is a good, spoiler alert. There's a girl who tries to kill herself, but you lose your rewind powers when you do it. I restarted the level. I wasn't gonna lose. That game was not gonna defeat
Dude,
me.
I almost did that. I was so mad. Oh my god. And I was nice to her the whole chapter. I did everything right to make her like me, and then I fucked up the conversation at the end because I didn't know her mom hated her.
Oh yeah, no, I did that too. But it
God
was just
damn
process
it!
elimination when I just restarted a bunch of times because I wasn't gonna lose because the game decided to be a dick at that one time and take away my get out of jail free card. But anyway, barring that, at the end of the chapter, it also tells you, like, who picked what options, like, at what percentage of the time. So you know, like, what percentage of people picked option A, B, C, or D, so you know how most people's stories progress. And for almost every one of those, I picked the same one everybody else did, and or at least the majority of people did. And I got to the ending the majority of people did. So I consider that the true story of how that game went. I don't care about the choices. Because there were no choices.
Story. It's about your
No,
choices.
no,
the
it
whole
wasn't.
point is
because,
that it's
no,
your
Adam,
story.
No,
You're
Adam,
playing
Adam,
the game.
shut up, Adam. No. I picked the right answers. Therefore, I
There
played the story the
isn't
way
a
it was
right
meant to be
answer.
played. Yes, there is. There's always a right answer. There's a right answer, Adam, because that's how the story was meant to be played. That's how I decided it was done. Therefore, that's how I want it to be. That's how the game should have progressed. I didn't even need the choices. I really didn't. You could have just made it linear
But that's
and made
the whole point of the game.
I know, but I don't want
that's
that.
The entire crux of the gameplay is making choices. Otherwise, you're just watching a really long movie if you didn't make the choices as you were going.
I understand that that's the point of the game is to make the choices, but I don't like the choices. The only reason I liked this game the way I did is because I could immediately undo my fuck-ups. That's the best part. Every decision I made, I didn't have to worry about the consequences because I could just be like, whoops, didn't happen. Whereas in Untold Dead or Until Dawn or whatever the hell it was called, Until Dawn, I imagine that if you fuck up and somebody dies and it's permadeath, I imagine that affects the story somewhat, and I have an incomplete experience now because character Johnny and his girlfriend Bethany or whatever are all dead now, so the story can't progress the way it was meant to because these idiots died. And that's my fault, but it shouldn't be my fault. The game should take responsibility for its actions. If you need to kill somebody, do it in a cutscene. Don't make me responsible for changing the outcome. I don't want that. Just ferry me to the end.
You're so lame.
I want to experience this. This is the same. I know we haven't talked about this on here, but this is the reason why you didn't like the ending of Last of Us, because you felt like you should have been in control of that when it was a narrative.
I should have.
No, you don't get to pick the end of the book, Adam. The ending is how it was meant to be happening. Somebody sat down.
It's not a book. It's a video game.
Yes,
and it's a video
but
game
it's telling
that
a story, and stories don't have twists and options. Stories have a start and an end, and you reach the end. You don't get to change it just because you don't feel like it's not happening the right way.
Watching a movie is just watching a story. A video game involves player interaction. I have to be involved.
You're interacting. You're moving the story along, but you're not changing the story.
Enough. That's not enough.
Yes, it is, Adam.
Not
yes,
satisfy.
it is. It's an interactive story. Otherwise, it's not a story if you just get to go off on tangents about how you think it's supposed to be done. That's not a story then. Adam, no. I don't mean to get so heated about it, but I do because it's really important to me.
Are you fucking done? Yeah, I'm fine. You and I will just never agree on this, and we have to accept this.
Fine, yes, I'm done. In my humble opinion, Until Dawn is dumb because it's kind of stupid. There, I've said it.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. So, I'm going to do me now. I'm going to do my humble opinion. So, I don't want to say it quite yet. I don't want to say what my opinion is yet. I'll get there, though. So, I listened, it's an audiobook, but okay. So I listened to the audiobook of Phasma, which is an audiobook of, or book, whatever. It's a book about Captain Phasma from The Force Awakens.
Oh, we almost got out of
Star
here with no
Wars.
Star Wars.
I know, but I need to talk about this, okay? So I'm gonna be completely honest. I went into this with very low expectations. I didn't really care about Captain Phasma in The Force Awakens. I thought she was just like a character who looked really cool and didn't really do anything else and went into that garbage compactor like a little bitch. And that was it. That was pretty much my entire opinion of her as a character, and I didn't really need a book about her. And I was just kind of like, oh, okay, I'll read it. Fine. I was entirely wrong. It may, in fact, be my favorite Star Wars book I've ever read.
Wow.
It was absolutely amazing. I loved every second of it. So, the book starts with a resistance spy being kidnapped and interrogated by a First Order captain called Captain Cardinal. He has the exact same armor
Captain
as
Cardinal.
Captain. Yeah, I know. There is a reason he's called that. So he has the exact same outfit as Captain Phasma, except it's red instead of silver.
Okay.
And his name is Captain Cardinal because it was a name that
Cardinals
was
are red.
given. Cardinals are red, and it was a name that was given to him by his superiors, who were kind of making a joke at the time.
So
But
Cardinals exist in Star Wars.
yes, they
So
do.
an Earth bird exists somewhere in space.
Yes,
Okay.
just don't worry about it. I think it's sort of kind of implied that that like Star Wars isn't in the far past, but actually is in the far future, and like it's kind of implied that that's sort of true. Like there's a lot of things that people talk about that's just like, wait, that's an Earth thing. Like why do you know what that is? It's a thing. Just don't worry about it. Shut up.
Okay.
His name is Captain Cardinal, and he captured a Resistance spy. And the reason he captured this Resistance spy was because he knew that she had information on Captain Phasma. She's a spy, it's her job to know things, and she went to Captain Phasma's home planet to learn more information about her. And then Cardinal interrogates her. Her name is Vi, by the way. Vi, anyway. He's interrogating her, and the whole rest of the novel is Vi telling Cardinal the story of how Captain Phasma became Captain Phasma. And it is so fucking good. It's so fascinating. So, Captain Phasma came from a planet called Parnassos, and the planet of Parnassos is basically like the world of Mad Max, but it's an entire planet.
Okay.
So it's like this post-apocalyptic wasteland that's like been irradiated to hell, and like that's full of like these crazy ass savages. Like some people are cults, some people are just like are almost Indians, like these roving bands of people who are just trying to survive. There's excuse me. There's a bunch of droids that have been abandoned for so long that they've developed their own religion. Um, and it like the whole thing is just so interesting and like fucked up and twisted and really fucking like scary, and but in a cool like dangerous way. It like the whole planet is just so freaking rich in atmosphere, and it has all of these crazy interesting characters and cults and dangers. Like there's this whole desert area where if there's even like a drop of moisture on the sand, these golden beetles will show up and like drink all the moisture. And the beetles are super poisonous, and if you get bit by one, there's no cure for it, and basically you'll like over like a couple of days time, you'll slowly like fill with water and then explode.
Wow, that's gratuitous for a
Yeah,
defense mechanism.
it's really, and then when you explode and you explode full of water, then more water is created, and then all the beetles show up and drink all the water. Their whole thing is drinking water because they live in a desert. I don't know what they eat, but it doesn't matter.
Sand particle. Mummies. They eat
Yeah.
mummies.
Yeah, dead people, maybe. I don't know. But the planet is fascinating, but what's even more interesting is Captain Phasma herself. They present Captain Phasma as a character who cares about exactly one thing, and that is herself. She has no loyalty to anyone other than herself, and she goes to extreme lengths to survive under the harshest of conditions.
Does she eat people?
No,
Not that extreme.
kind of though. What she does do is like her band, like she's a part of like this band of people called the Skyer, and
Skyre's a good band name. What instrument does she play?
Anyway, shut up. Anyway, so the Skyer, they have these things called Atraxers, which they plug into dead bodies, and then it removes all of like the water and nutrients from the dead bodies.
Oh.
And then they use that to make a paste that they basically use for sunblock / for like anti-infection stuff.
So they make Soylent Green.
I don't know what that is, but
It's Soylent Green is people.
is that what that is? Okay, yeah, it's people. They make people. They take dead bodies and they make a paste out of them.
Okay.
And then they smear it all over their bodies in order to not get sunburned and not die from infection.
Yummy.
Yeah, it's really fun. But like Captain Phasma joined this band at a very young age when her original band was just her family. But her family
Like the Jackson 5?
Oh my god. Her family was stupid, and they were selfish, and they didn't want to work with anyone else, and they were willing to die in order to. They were willing to die for the sake of protecting this one little spot of land, which Phasma thought was like the stupidest thing ever.
That's pretty stupid.
So in order to get her family to die so that she didn't have to die, she cut off her brother's leg and then told her family that it was the Skyer who did that. Her family was all pissed about it. They went and they all died. And then Phasma joined the Skyer with her brother, who is now a cripple. So not only did she
did he agree to having his leg cut off?
No.
Then why did he agree to join with her? She's obviously
because
unhinged.
He had no other option. What else was he going to do? He was living in a post-apocalyptic wasteland where if he didn't join her, he was just going to be killed.
Well, he could just tie a machine gun to his leg. That's what people do when they lose legs in Mad Max.
There are no guns in this world at all. Like all of the blasters and stuff don't work anymore. Like this is like everything that they fight with is like clubs and swords that they made from broken droid parts.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's like super cool. Like it's like this ancient world that like has just gone to fucking hell, and it's so awesome. And so what ends up happening is the First Order crash lands on the planet because the planet has a planetary defense system, which is weird, but whatever.
Does it have guns or does it throw spears?
No, the planetary defense system has guns, but it's a satellite, so there's not like anything the people on the planet can do anything about it. So the planetary defense system takes down the First Order, or at least a small portion of the First Order. The First Order likes to go to different planets looking for children to indoctrinate.
Of course.
That's a thing. Don't worry.
Isn't that where our stormtrooper friend came from?
Yes, that's exactly where Finn came from. He was an indoctrinated child who was first into the First Order at a very young age. Anyway, so the First Order falls on this planet, and their ship and as their ship is crashing, they eject, and their ship keeps going for a while, and then eventually does crash, and they like parachute down to the ground or whatever. I don't know what. Yeah, I think it is a parachute. They parachute down to the ground, and they're really far away from their ship in this post-apocalyptic wasteland. So, and then in order to get back to their ship so they can call for help from the rest of the First Order, they need help. And that's where Phasma comes in. Phasma is just like, okay, I will help you, but in exchange, I want you to take me away from this planet. I need to get out of here. Because she knows that this planet is dead/dying, and she wants the fuck out. Oh, and there are no working ships on this planet anymore. All the ships are gone.
Oh, good.
So the First Order don't really have much choice. So they're just like, yeah, sure, we'll take you away from here. That's fine. And then they go on this grand, horrifying adventure that involves fighting against evil droids and traveling across the giant desert full of those beetles and fighting against a crazy cult of people who excuse me, who have a giant coliseum, and then they kill the leader of the Coliseum people, and then they leave, and then a bunch of shit happens. I'm not going to go into all the details. They eventually find the ship, and then Phasma leaves with the First Order, and in doing so, kills every single one of her band, her family, if you will. Not only one of them is her family, her crippled brother, but she kills all of them
Oh,
because
good.
they did not want to do what she did. They didn't. They did not want to go across the wasteland and help the First Order. They just wanted to stay where they were and be as safe as they could be. And Phasma was just like, no, this is our chance to be out of here. This is our chance to leave. This place is awful. We have to get out of here.
Guys,
And
it
they're just
sucks here.
and they're just like, if we leave, we'll die. If we stay, we might live. And she does not agree, and so she leaves. And then they follow her, which is stupid. And that's actually one of the few complaints I have is I don't understand why they followed her because the whole point. I guess
Yeah,
it
why would
sort
they
of makes
bother?
sense. She brings a few people with her. She brings the best warriors of her tribe, because she's the one who personally trained them all, and
Oh.
they're loyal to her. And so I can kind of understand because she basically left them defenseless, everyone else. But I still feel is really weird that they followed her all the way across the sand. Basically, they show up right at the end. They finally find the ship, and then what's left of the Skyer shows up, and they're just like, "How could you do this?" And then they try to kill her, and then she kills all of them. Well, she and her warriors kill all of them, and it's weird because I'm just like, how like these guys, Phasma and her warriors, barely made it here. How the fuck did a bunch of old women and children make it all the way here with no casualties, or practically no casualties? Like, were they just following in Phasma's wake the entire time, letting her pave the path forward? That doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of things that happened that there's no way they could have gotten around or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's odd. I'll allow it because it was like really cool to see Phasma kill all of them, but it was kind of odd.
I
Uh,
mean, that's fair, I guess.
Anyway, so she gets the ship. They send out the distress call. The First Order comes. She kills everybody, and then she leaves by herself. Because in the fight, most of her warriors died, and the only one that didn't die, she just abandoned because she said that she was too soft. So she left at the First Order. And then she became the Captain Phasma that we know. Um, which is a total badass with this big chrome armor. Which, by the way, she made the chrome armor from the ship that she went to go find on this planet. She came back like a year later, and she made her armor. She stripped off like a bunch of the metal from the ship and made her armor out of that metal because in her culture, uh, whenever you have to make your own masks, and like you have to earn the right to make your own mask, and in her mind that's exactly what she did, and so she liked the symbolism of making her new First Order outfit out of the ship that she used to save herself from this horrible planet, and it was cool. Okay, so that's the entire backstory portion of the book, which is most of the book.
Okay.
And then in the future, in the present day, Vi tells Captain Cardinal all of this information because Captain Cardinal hates Captain Phasma and sees her as someone who's trying to take away his job, and his job is to train. His job is to train the new recruits, and so what he wants is dirt on her that he can use to prove to his superiors that she is not fit to be a captain. And then in the process of the story, it is revealed that, excuse me, Captain Phasma killed this one First Order guy named Brendo Hux. It's complicated. Just
Okay.
she killed him.
Okay.
Uh,
Good. Doesn't
and
sound like something she
and
would do.
and so then Captain Cardinal is just like, oh, there we go. I can use that. I need proof of that. And he gets proof, sort of. I don't want to go into all the details. He gets proof. He goes to his superiors, Brendel, or no, not Brendel, Armitage Hux. He was the crazy neo-Nazi guy from The Force Awakens, the one who was screaming. Do you remember him at all?
Oh yeah.
The one who was just like, "This is the last day of the new
Right.
republic."
Yes.
Yeah, that guy. So he goes to him. Cardinal goes to that guy, and he's like, "Hey, listen, Phasma killed your father. Phasma's evil. I have proof." And Armitage is just like, "Yeah, I know. I don't care." like, like he's just like, "Yeah, I've always known that. I don't care. I hated my father. Like, why did you tell me this? Like, did you seriously not know?" And Cardinal's just like, "No, I didn't." And then Cardinal basically loses even more responsibility, and then he kind of goes off the deep end and tries to fight Phasma, and Phasma kicks his fucking ass, stabs him with a poisoned knife, and leaves him to die. In this like first order training room, and then Vi shows up because Vi was that spy he was interrogating, and he released her as a part of the deal to for her to tell him everything. He said that he would release her, and he's a man of his word, so he did release her. But all he did was just let her loose in this first order ship that no one else knew she was on. So he's just like, "Yeah, good luck," and she's just like, "Great, yeah, thanks, really helpful. I thought you were gonna give me a ship or something."
Nah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, you could pretty much, yeah. So Vi shows up, and she's just like, "Don't worry, Cardinal, I'll save you." And he's like, "Why?" And she's just like, "Because I think that you could be a good you don't seem like a bad person, and I think that you could be useful to the Resistance." So she grabs him, steals a ship, and leaves, and puts him in a medically induced coma so that he won't die from the infection that Phasma gave him, because, like I said, poisoned knife.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the end of the book.
Oh.
She puts him in a medically induced coma. She leaves the ship, and that's it. And I hated it. I hated that specifically because I wanted to know if he was going to survive. I wanted to know where she was going to take him. I wanted to know so many more details on what just happened, and I didn't get any of it.
Well, looks like you better buy the next book then.
I mean, I hope that there is another book. I don't know how there could be, though. Like, what do you call it? Phasma 2? It's time for more of her backstory. Like, I basically know everything I need to know about Phasma. She's a greedy, self-interested person who only cares about survival. Like, her survival.
Plus, they threw her in a trash compactor.
Well, yeah, we know that. That actually, it's kind of funny because I feel like the book was trying to justify why she was so willing to submit to Finn and Han Solo, and it kind of does, but it also kind of doesn't at the same time. So on the one hand, we know now that she is a completely self-interested. She has no loyalty to the First Order. All she cares about is herself and surviving. She does not want to die. So it makes some sense that she would give up and give them whatever they want in order to not die. On the other hand, the book firmly establishes her as a fucking badass who's one of the most skilled fighters of all time. Why couldn't she just take down Finn and Han Solo? I don't understand,
you could have tried, but okay, yeah, Bruce Lee's a badass, but a guy with a gun is still gonna shoot Bruce Lee. So
I guess it kind of but here's the other thing is she has armor that's bulletproof,
not laser proof, as we've proven before.
That's what I mean. No, but that's what I mean. It is laser proof. Like, her armor is laser proof. Like, she would be able to survive a couple of hits from a blaster. You'd think that she'd be able to overpower an old man and some young asshole.
Asshole.
I guess maybe not Chewbacca. Chewbacca could probably kick her ass, but I don't know.
Not worth the risk.
I guess that's kind of how it's presented. Is that it's not worth the risk. Like, could she have taken them? Maybe, but she might not have been able to take them, and she wasn't willing to risk it, and that's why she gave up so easily. So it mostly makes sense, I guess. And yeah, I really liked this book. It was really well written. It was really well paced. And it was just fucking interesting. The planet was fascinating. Getting a chance to look into Phasma's Phasma's psyche, while at the same time not, because all the story, like almost none of it is told from her perspective.
Right.
It's always told by other people. Like other people are talking about what happened, so you don't actually get to know what was going through her mind as she was doing all of this stuff. But you do know what she did and you know what she said, which is gives you enough to have a basic understanding, but it doesn't like give you intimate knowledge of her brain or whatever, which is I think probably a smart decision because I didn't need I one of the problems with these backstory books is it often gives too much information where it kind of removes the mystery from characters, and it didn't do that for her. Like she's still an enigma, but she's an enigma that is in a has a more clarified backstory, I guess. Does that make sense?
Right, sure, yeah.
But it's really cool. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great novel, and I think if it's not my favorite Star Wars novel, it's like top 5 easily. Like it's really fucking good. And I am pleasantly surprised, and that was great. And that's it. That's basically all I have to. In my humble opinion, it was fucking awesome. Like I would give it like a 9.5 out of 10. The only issue is I didn't like the ending because it felt anticlimactic. Because it was just like, and nothing else. Oh, is that it? Oh, okay. Well, see you next time, everybody. Like I wanted. If I never find out what happens to Vi and Captain Cardinal, I'm gonna be pissed. I liked them. They were cool characters, and I want to know more about whether or not he survives and everything. I want to know more. I didn't want the story to end there, but it did, and I didn't like that.
Wah wah.
All right, and that's it for me. So now we're going to move on to random encounters, and if you still don't know, random encounters is where we take 2 characters randomly selected, sort of, and we put them in a randomly selected challenge and decide who would win. It could be a variety of different things. It could be eating contest. It could be a death battle. It could be race around the world. It could be, I don't know, pick your fucking poison. It's a random challenge between 2 random characters, and it's fun. And we do it for fun because we're fun people. I'm gonna pick Kirby.
You should probably explain how you pick your character based on...
I pick my character based on what we talked about in the day, and Steve randomly picks his character from a chalice of champions.
That's right, Adam. Yes. It's definitely not a Ziploc bag I have here on the floor. And that rustling sound you're hearing of a Ziploc bag is a total coincidence.
Okay. It's just the sound of the chalice. And it's badass. Really badass.
The chalice is actually made of plastic. All right. Well, I have Goku. And who'd you say, Kirby?
Yeah, I said Kirby.
Okay. The challenge is, who's more likely to win a shadow duel?
Okay. So Kirby has the mind of a child, basically.
Yeah, and so does Goku. He is really stupid.
That's also true. Kirby doesn't have hands. But
true.
That's never really proved a problem before. Like, he's picked up at all kinds of stuff, so maybe he has, like, invisible fingers or something.
Like Powerpuff Girl hands.
Yeah. Wow, this is a really tough thing. Goku is a fighter, so he at least has strategic knowledge.
See, no, that's actually not it. Because Goku's really only good at fighting, but he kind of just... I mean, it's a lot of trial and error with him. It's not really strategy. I mean, fighting, he's good at fighting. That's the only thing he's good at. He's not good at braining so hard. He's not, a thinker. So he doesn't even know how to count, really.
Kirby's main thing is just sucking things up, and
Goku's main thing is punching them. Like, I mean, mental faculties, we're kind of operating on the same level here. Did you know Goku didn't know what kissing was?
Oh God, are you serious?
Yeah, there was an episode of Dragon Ball Super where Future Trunks is macking on his girl, and Goku's like, "Oh, you can do that? That's weird." And then Vegeta's like, "But you're married." And he's like, "Yeah, so what? You'd never done that with your wife?"
Jesus Christ!
No, I didn't know you could do that. It's like,
wait a second. I feel really bad for Chi-Chi. Fuck.
We should all feel really bad for Chi-Chi.
Also, Chi-Chi's hot. I'm just gonna say it.
I mean, but he's got 2 kids, so
so they at least had
we can
sex.
confirm that Goku has been laid at least twice.
Actually, that might not be true.
Okay,
think about
they
it,
could have in vitro fertilized, but I don't think that's the case.
No, wait, no. Here's the thing: we can confirm one thing: Chi-Chi has been laid twice.
Okay.
We don't know
Fair enough.
with an absolute fact that it was Goku's children.
Well, we
I mean,
do.
they look like him.
Well, yeah. Goten looks exactly like him because he's got the same hair and everything. But
Yeah.
we know that they're half Saiyan because they can go Super Saiyan, and there were
That's
no
true.
other Saiyans on Earth at the time. So at the very least, Gohan is his. Goten might have been Vegeta's, maybe, but
maybe.
we can confirm. Okay, one time we can with absolute certainty confirm that Goku is laid one time. So
Probably
good for
two times.
Goku. I bet it was awkward. I bet it was really awkward. But
Yeah, I
that's
can
not
only
the point.
imagine.
Let's get back to Kirby and Goku in this children's card game that neither of them would be able to master.
Okay.
I have to give it to Goku just for base level human thinking skills. Like, I mean,
guess.
if it's a children's card game, so children can play it. I mean, it for no other reason than he has the potential to play it.
Fine, I can accept.
I
that.
don't
Sure.
know that Kirby can actually do it, but maybe
Probably
Goku.
not. I
Maybe
think Kirby would just eat it.
Well,
Kirby would just eat the game.
that's the thing. Like Goku
that's
would
it.
just get bored. He'd be like, "Well, there's not even any punching in this game, or whatever," and he'd just like fly out of there, you know, or sleep because he only knows how to do two things. So like,
Does he eat? I
oh,
don't
dude,
know.
he eats all the time. He's hardcore eats, but like, you know, that's Saiyan
Okay,
metabolism
so fine,
for you.
we're gonna say that Goku is most likely to win.
Yeah, as sad as it is that Goku has to struggle for a victory, it's, you know, that's where we're at. I
Okay.
guess.
All right, there we go. Goku wins. Wow, that was
Barely.
the saddest. That was
Yeah.
the saddest victory that he's ever gotten, and he usually just wins all the time. Like, shit.
Truth. All right, well, who's your next one gonna
I'm
be?
gonna pick. I'm gonna say. Well, I haven't played a lot of that game. I'm gonna say Doom Guy. Fuck it, Doom Guy.
Okay, Doom Guy. I got Zangief.
Nice.
All right.
Okay. That's from what? Street Fighter.
Street Fighter,
Right?
yeah, the big Russian guy
Street
with
Fighter.
the chest hair.
Yes.
And the hairy
Yeah,
knees. He's got hairy knees.
Great. That's really information I needed to know.
All right, well, the contest is Dance Off. And this is an
Dance
easy
Off.
Zangief victory.
Yeah, Doom Guy doesn't really give a shit about dancing.
And Zangief
Like,
is a
ever.
proud dancer of Russia, so he can do that
Is he
kicking
really?
dance thing that they do. Because he does it in
Wait.
the end credits of Street Fighter 2 if you win.
All right, fine, I'll accept it.
So-
God damn it, you already won. This is
I
lame.
did. So,
Do
get
you wanna-
wrecked.
We'll do one more or not?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we have to do 3.
Okay, fine. I'll do Steve from Minecraft.
Okay, I got Raven. Did I do Raven last week? I feel like I did. I'm gonna do somebody
I
else.
don't remember.
I'll do somebody
We
else.
should put more characters in there.
Yeah, I'll get around to it someday. I got
So, like,
I got
6
Sub
months?
Zero.
Okay.
That's better.
Okay, so who did I pick again? Steve.
Okay.
Steve from
And the
Minecraft.
challenge is a battle of Guitar Hero. I don't think. Well, okay. First of all, Steve literally can't play Guitar Hero because he doesn't have any fingers.
Well,
Unless we're operating under the
okay.
assumption he can pick things up with his brick hands, and you know, for the sake of argument, I guess we can say he has some sort of telepathic fingers.
Sure, let's just pretend, just
Okay,
for the sake of
But
argument.
Sub-Zero has real fingers, and he has ninja dexterity.
Yes,
and ice
but
hands.
Sub-Zero also doesn't give a shit and has no musical ability whatsoever that we've
How
ever
do you
been
know?
presented with.
How do you know?
Well, we have no reason to assume.
No,
but,
we don't.
Like, but what's his face? Steve from Minecraft, like he is a connoisseur of many different skills. He
A
can
true
do all
Renaissance man, to
kinds
be
of
sure.
Yeah, he can do all kinds of crazy shit. I think that if he doesn't know how to do Guitar Hero, I feel as though he could pick it up pretty easily.
True, but again, that's only operating under the assumption that his weird psychic fingers are actual fingers. Because there's no way for him to push the buttons otherwise. He could flip the thingy, you know, he could flip the big plastic clitoris on the computer, or on the guitar, but he couldn't push the buttons. So,
Correct.
you know, it's kind of up in the air on this one. I'm still saying
I-
Sub-Zero on account of human appendages.
All right, fine. I'll say Sub-Zero.
Shut out.
Damn it! No! Okay, so those are the complaints this week. If you can't complain, share it with your friends. Bye!